Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be working on the December project day 4. This is day 3. I still don't have a plan for the back of the decorative element yet, but we'll get to that. I am going to be using this photo of these 3 little gnomes that joined the collection. And I also pulled out my gnome stamp set from Close to My Heart. So let's see what I can do. So I have these little 3x4 cut-up parts that I had from a previous layout. I knew that I wanted to use that plaid one with the label on it, and I'm pretty sure I want to use the Be Merry one. I'm not going to use the Santa one, so my original thought was to trim down this scrap piece of black cardstock that I had, just so I would have that red solid border around it. However, my head will not math correctly today, and that is shameful. So I trim down the black cardstock and I don't trim it down correctly. So when I finally do get it trimmed down, you see pieces of Santa poking out underneath of it, and that's really not the look I'm going for here. So I'm like, doofus. So I just flip it over and I'm going to use the holly print on the back. Now I could have left all of that out and you guys would have never known that I'm a doofus, but this is what happens. So when things don't work out, keep going, because you might find that you like your fix better than your original one. I definitely like the holly better than just the plain red border around this. So I am using that gnome stamp set that I got from Close to My Heart. And if you have this stamp set and you have not opened it yet, be careful. The first gnome I pulled off, I broke his hat. This second guy right here, I didn't break his hat, so that was a plus. I am using my Misty and using some Brutus Monroe embossing ink, which my ink pad is drying up. Need to get another one. And I'm also using Brutus Monroe Sterling, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous silver color. And since silver is my color for my album this year, that was perfect. Now, I should have used my anti-static bag on my piece of black cardstock ahead of time so that the embossing powder only stuck where the embossing ink was, but I was not that, boy, I can't math and I can't English either right now, people. I am using tweezers to hold on to this. Normally I wouldn't, but I did burn my finger today pulling a roast chicken out of the oven. I pulled the cover off and the steam burned the heck out of my finger. So the heat from the heat gun would be painful, so I'm using tweezers. All the real embossers use tweezers in their videos, so I don't know, maybe I need it to burn my finger to become a real embosser? Who knows? I decided that I needed to add a little bit of texture to this card, so I went ahead and trimmed off a little bit of tulle, and I just decided to have that as a layer underneath of the gnome. I grab a stapler and staple the tulle right to the pattern paper here. That is going to hold nicely. I don't have to worry about my glue coming off. I don't have to worry about the tulle separating. That staple is going to hold it down. So I am also going to layer some fun foam on top of that, just to give it a little bit more lift off of the page. Of course, I'm going to put washi tape on the little staple tines on the back, so that when I'm sliding the cards in and out of my album, nothing is going to catch, rip, or tear. So I do go ahead and use this punch just to hold down that glued on piece, just to give it a little bit of extra weight to it so that it sticks. We're going to put away those gnomes. Now, when I first thought about this, I was actually going to color the gnome, but I thought that it would be a little bit more striking embossed in silver on the black, so that's what I went for. Now this 3x4 card is one of my favorite cards that I have in my entirety of the kit, so I want to make sure that that got used quickly. Now I do start out with this silver and white label layered over top of the other label, and I'm not convinced of it yet. I'm like, it feels a little bit off. I'm like, maybe I need to add a little bit more silver. So I grabbed the Love from Lizzie peel-offs, and these are the super, super thin ones, and I'm just going to outline the card in the super thin ones. Now, I don't do too stellar of a job. I actually don't even connect on the bottom, what is this, the bottom right-hand corner, but I'm not worried about it. There's going to be so much in this album. There's going to be so much to look at and so much to take in that that little teeny piece is not bothering me whatsoever. I'm not concerned about it. It's just not bothering me. If it bothers you, though, maybe you'll want to kind of measure out a little bit more. I'm just eyeballing it and making it happen that way. At this point is when I decide I really don't like that label. I don't like the white label. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should have tried the black label because there is a lot of black on this card. And it is a cream-based card, even though I usually don't mind mixing cream and white together because they're just colors. This time, I just didn't like the feel of it. I felt like that label was, bam, way, 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 way too in your face for this card. So I layer up my number 4. I go ahead and pull out one of those sticky brads that says Be Merry, and I layer that up over top of the holly that is pre-printed on the card. And now I'm figuring out where I want things to go in the pockets. So I actually chose where to place the items in these pockets based on the pockets on the other side. So on the other side of that embossed gnome that I made that has the fun foam on it is just a photo. There's no embellishment, there's nothing thick on the other side of that. So I decided to go with that. And then I wanted the gnomes across from each other. I didn't want them next to each other. So the next place the gnome went down here. And then I wanted the number up on the top of the page, just because the past 3 days, I'm looking at it right now, they're all on the bottom. So I wanted to bring that number up to the top. Now I'm going to just add a little bit of embellishment to the photo. Sometimes I just leave the photos as they are. Sometimes I like to embellish them. It's just how I'm feeling at the moment. And in this moment, I felt like I needed to add something. So I added the merriest and oh by golly, just because I thought that that was cute. So now what I have to do is figure out what card I'm going to use to journal. So I pull out this close to my heart card that has lines on it already, and it has holly and berries across. So I'm going to make a little decorative element. My original plan was to put something in the center, but I like the little Kaisercraft kind of silver foily, what is that? I almost said star. That's not a star, that is a heart, off to the left-hand side. And now I'm just looking for something to layer on top of it. I was thinking about something black just to bring more black onto this card as well. But what catches my eye is another one of the Simple Stories brads. And the brad with the kind of plaid is what catches my eye because it's very similar to the plaid up there on the number 4 card. So I'm going to go ahead and layer that on top as well. And then I have these little, I don't know what they are. They're not truly enamel dots because they're textured, but they're super fun. And I got them in a Brutus Monroe kit. So instead of putting 3 on each card, I decide to put 3 on the entire page. I overlap the 2 tiny word stickers with the gnomes. I place it off to the side here with the journaling card, and I kind of nestle it in the holly leaf on the number card. So I start writing my journaling, and it says, meet Bang, Bop, and Bam. These 3 gnomes join the gnome horde. Because at this point in our lives, we really do have a horde of gnomes that decorate the house at Christmas. I went and Googled horde because I wasn't sure if it had an E or not at the end. And then I realized that the horde I wanted didn't have an A, and I had put an A down. So I had to come up with something to cover this up. So I found a tiny word sticker that said holiday, and I covered up the misspelling of horde, and now it says these 3 gnomes join the gnome holiday horde. I didn't want to just have that one tiny word sticker on this page, so I decided to make my journaling work to use a couple more of these stickers so that it would kind of be throughout the entire journaling. So the rest of the journaling says, we love Christmas time, and what better way to celebrate than with gnomes. When they come out, it definitely looks a lot like Christmas. So I have holiday, celebrate, and looks a lot like Christmas as the tiny word stickers. And then that is going to do it for day number 4. Like I said, I haven't figured out what decorative element is going on that page before day number 3, but we got a whole month to figure it out, guys, so I'm not worried. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me on the December project, and I will see you again real soon for another video.